right. Good morning. I think this is working. Using OBS on Linux. Mint on my computer. Let me just see if it is live streaming. I don't know. It should be. Give me a minute. Wake up. Go to view your channel. There we go. Yep, it's live. Okay. So I'm going to assume it's live. So good morning. It says it is. I don't know. It says it is. I got to assume it is. Flux capacitor's fluxing. It's been a while since I've done a live video, especially flipping to Linux. And it's really weird looking. I can never really doing podcasts for quite a long time. The optics is like really freaking weird, and the lights are just still too bright. I got all these complaints. It's not going to matter. Good morning, by the way. Hello. My new name is Mommy. Oh, okay. You can call me Mommy, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of weird. So I, not to plug anything, just some background. A lot of things. I've been in the HVAC refrigeration industry, and I'm using my mic and mixer and pretty good camera as far as I can tell, because I want it to be the best quality that it can possibly be. I wish I had a background, green screen, something. I don't really care about that too much. This isn't a Steven Spielberg major motion picture. All right, so I like easing into things, and I'm probably going to get up and make another thing of coffee because I'm usually a three cup of coffee type of guy. McDonald's K-Cups premium cafe, not bad. All right, so I've been in the HVAC industry for 43 years. Day out of high school, writing a book. I'm going to spend some time on that because I have some time, especially to what has transpired as of yesterday. So I'm not gonna like try to beat this with a dead horse. This is my opinion, and it's concerning, and I have tried to express this more than once, and every time I do, it doesn't turn out positive, I guess is the best way to put it. Is this mic or that camera had a cover? Because I want to get up, make some more coffee here in a minute. And there's a lot of reasons for it. So now I'm out of frame here a little bit. Like I said, I'm not a YouTuber. I'm a podcast guy. So optics aren't really my thing. Because I want the auditory to come through more than the flashy effects, which, maybe that'll change. I don't know. So anyway, it's enough of boring crap. The topic is software, okay? And I say it as a generalization right now. Software, okay? I don't know if I should start from the beginning as software and as industry, which again is the HVACR service industry, even middle management, third party people. I was told something yesterday. It's like you're not going to believe any of this. I can assure you, okay? And nor do I expect you to. Because I still don't know if I'm in the minority of this or majority, or people just don't give a shit, sorry. Or they just like, oh, it's the way it is, blah blah blah, and kind of unknowingly play victim to the Stockholm effect here and Stockholm syndrome, and fall in love with your captor. I don't know. I don't know the psychological thing on it, and I'm not a psychiatrist or psychologist, although I play one on television. And I hope I get my point across, because maybe I should just start like I was doing with the evolution, if you want to call it, of software, service software, accounting software, and then how the pendulum just swung all the way to the other side, and hopefully it stopped by some comments that I've heard. No, I'm not here to throw anybody under the bus and say this and say that, and I'm right and everybody's wrong. This is my perspective and opinion of being a service technician I never really got away from it, but service technician to PM technician, service technician to business owner. I was service supervisor, manager, blah, 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 blah. Not in the same company, different companies. And started my own business in 1998 in the Chicago area. And then due to a divorce and people that had different motives to start their own company and sway my customers to going with them. They started their own business and blah, 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 blah. And ever since then, it's been extremely challenging. So that was 10 years ago. So service software, it goes back to DOS. And that kind of dates me, but it's not really me, because my dad's partner, when I worked with him, would not get off of DOS into Windows 3.1, 3.11, whatever. And I was service supervisor, and I was told to figure out an inventory system for the company that included warranty parts, which seemed to disappear and never get returned. And in 30 days, if you don't return them, you don't get a credit, because when you buy them, whether they're under warranty or not, the distributor charges you for them. And if you don't get them back with the right paperwork in 30 days, you pay for the part. Doesn't matter. So those parts were being lost. I can't even tell you, thousands of dollars gone, wasted, because we were paying for warranty parts, which you shouldn't be doing. So I didn't know nothing. I still don't know nothing. All right, so let's put that out there. But under this, I didn't know nothing. So I bought a version of QuickBooks after scouring for the best accounting software. Okay, and people are going to go, well, that's accounting software and it's not service software. And it's like, I beg to differ, because it's not true. QuickBooks Enterprise is a business management software program, and you manage your business by using the interface that's customizable in the fields, which costs you $500, I hear now, just to add a field to the stuff they're using. And your numbers run in the background. And I learned tax line, tax line, like assignments for cost of goods sold, inventory asset, owner's equity draws, all the things that every time you do a transaction or you do anything related to your business is in the accounting software in your QuickBooks Enterprise. So I learned that. I bought it. It was $150 back in the day. And I came up with an inventory system that I used for 20 years in my business. And it worked great. And paper tickets, fax machines. Now you can just use programs like Cam Scanner, a plethora of all these apps that you can use to replace fax machines. You got Dropbox, you got all these ways to communicate digitally with not only the office but customers and anybody, really. In my opinion, paper tickets with hybrid latest technology is still the most efficient, highest profit margin way to do business. And that's not going to go over well, for sure, because it never does. Then things evolved, I guess, into third-party service management systems about 10 years ago, right when my business went under. And it went under because of nefarious things. It wasn't, you don't run a business and start with nothing for 20 years and then just bottom falls out. However, I did have challenges of the 2008 meltdown. And in that situation, capital was tight. Everything was really tight. Business dropped quite a bit. At the time, my wife and I we had 6 figures in retirement together, and we decided to cash that out and inject it as into capital to keep the business afloat and keep people working. And then, of course, the IRS got, in between the state of Illinois, got over half of that with penalties and interest. But we took the lump sum, injected it in, and we saved the company. In retrospect, I probably made a mistake because some people just didn't give shit that they wanted to feed their family and have a job and continue to have an income. And I probably should have just closed the company then. But as an entrepreneur and a leader, you don't do that, and but I do have to consider if I could go back and make that choice again, what I would do. So I probably wouldn't change it, but I still have to entertain the thought because I ended up with nothing anyway. Actually, it was more or less than nothing, depending how you look at it. But anyway, 2008 meltdown happened, and divorce happened. And then 2 guys that worked for me decided to go after my business after starting a company. And to my surprise, convinced customers to do that. So without anybody saying anything to me. So it's like, wow. Okay. Whatever. True story. It's in the book. It's going to be in the book. I didn't get that far yet. And it's not really like an autobiography of that. It's more specific to chapters and things in this industry that have plagued it. I guess would be the best word since I've been in it. So I decided to use QuickBooks Enterprise in my business. Couldn't get my dad and his partner to use it because they were on DOS. They couldn't even load it on the OS and in the computer network, the LAN. So it was like, okay, whatever. And things didn't work out there, and I started my own company and used QuickBooks Enterprise, and I still have it, and I'll still use it if I ever do that again. Desktop version. People are like, what's that? Well, it's really actually on your hard drive, and you don't need to get online to access the cloud, wherever that is. And I'd rather say it's the void, but it's there until it's not. It's really, I guess that's a cloud too. Maybe that's why they call it that. Clouds disappear, don't they? Anyway, maybe that is a better term. So I decided to go with QuickBooks Enterprise, and it worked amazing. Amazing. Back in the day, in 1998, it was extremely rare, if not even existent by default, that a service company would give a customer an estimate for repair. And I did that because I could, and because I think it was only fair and reasonable and good business practice to give a customer and go, look, this is what it's going to cost, so you can budget it, or if it's CapEx, well, Tim, it's not going to be CapEx, then can you, it's going to hit my bonus, because I did mostly corporate restaurants, and it's like, can we divide this in two, and send me half an invoice this month and half next month? And I go, yeah, I can do that. It's all about the customer, although people don't perceive things sometimes. What I'm saying is in the best interest of the customer. It's like, I can assure you that it is. So I was in the very beginning of that. I'm not going to say I started it by any means, but definitely it was business as usual, or SOP, for my company. Until some of them started using it and getting 2 or 3 estimates. Now, in Chicago and back then, you don't do that. You don't do that to a partnered service company. That's non-existent too. And, at that time, it was nothing short of taking it and throw it on eBay and get the cheapest price and get it done. And some concepts have gone out of business since then. And it wasn't too hard to predict, because I heard horror stories. They were doing that with all the trades and hot water heaters, and then the customer decided to order their own hot water heater, and then come to find out that it was wrong or didn't fit. And it was like, and for me, in my professional opinion, we have a partnership. And, I don't walk into a restaurant and even nowadays just pull up my phone and, let's say I want to watch a football game at a chicken wing place because I like the atmosphere and everything else, but their food's too expensive, so I don't pick up Uber and the Uber app or whatever and go, well, I'm going to save a couple bucks on these wings, and, this is cheaper and that's cheaper, so I'm just going to have it Ubered here, and I'm going to eat in your establishment from your competitor's menu and sit here and plop my ass and watch a football game. You don't do that. But for some reason, that's normal to treat people in the service industry like that. And I don't get it. I don't, because back in the day, and I had a customer that is one of the top 3, I'll say this, in the restaurant industry. And this is what they were striving for. They were striving for partnerships. You signed the service providers, my PM agreement, my terms, my conditions, all negotiable, net 30, discounted labor rate, preferred customer response time, blah, 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 because it was quid pro quo. You call me, quo. You call me, I come. Not, well, you got a service call here from a third-party service provider, and if you don't respond in 2 hours, we're going to call somebody else. It's like, what? Since when is this NASCAR? 2 hours? I got my guys tied up. I just can't pull a guy or go, hey, hurry up, Tim, and get the hell out of there because we got another call in 2 hours. Worst thing you can do to a technician. And you wonder why they have service anxiety or they're losing their goddamn mind. Sorry, Lord. You can't do that. You like, look, we'll get there. Won't charge you overtime because you called in before 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, whatever the condition is or terms in the signed agreement or PM contract, terms of service, I guess, and you adhere to that. So, but there's nothing wrong with calling a tech and going, hey, got another call for you, just so you know, FYI. Or nowadays, put it in the magic software or send a text or whatever, and notify them. But then you wig them out, you know. You wig out, you put pressure on service technicians, and then you wonder why the callback rate's so high. So, or we'll send somebody else. It's like, well, wait, that's my account. Patience is a virtue, and hang on. And no, we got to get you there because response time is the number one thing the customers watch for and grade you. And it's like, I thought it was fixing their stuff first time, but okay. Again, everything's upside down. I mean, I don't go to a restaurant and sit down and go, well, I want to order, and because you guys get my food here in 5 minutes, that's why I come here. No, I come here because the food's good. The service is great. The atmosphere is great. And I'm a repeat customer. I don't give a shit if it takes you 20 minutes to get my food. And I got to wait an hour or 45 minutes to an hour for a table on a busy night. I mean, that's not what it's about. But for some reason in this industry, it is. Unbelievable. People actually manage their company by instant response time. Ain't gonna work. So the whole software thing, which is what this is all about, but I'm tying all this together. Ever since third-party management systems that come in and get between you and your customer, which is ridiculous. I just don't get that either. If I put a middle management company between me and when I go out to dinner at my favorite restaurant and use that SOP that's used on service providers, the manager would tell me to get the hell out of their store. You know, oh, may I take your order? Here, you need to fill this software out here, eatatmyrestaurant.org.com, and put everything on here, and then I'm going to send it to my middle management company, and they're going to go, oh, it's a little too high, go get a different bid for dinner. Okay, and then I get on Uber, and I get another one, and I'm like, okay, what about this one? Yeah, that's better. Use them. And then I have the food ordered, and it comes, and then I eat it. And then I go, well, I need a breakdown on each French fry and the bun and the piece of cheese, and I need it all itemized and broken down. And then if I think it's ridiculous, then I'm going to say something because I can get it off of, I can get it from a competitor or buyfood@discount.org app or something. It's ridiculous. It's just absolutely absurd. And then I need a full estimate, which is going to be the bill before I eat, and you need to tell me everything it is, including the server's tip, which I'm not going to really do because I have somebody doing all this for me on my magic software to protect me from getting screwed. Do you see the disconnect and how absurd that is? But for me to understand things, regardless of what they are, I flip them. So it's like, okay, if I did that to you and blah, 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 and I do this in my head. If I did this to that person in this situation, How would that look? I'm like, well, it's fair and equitable because it works for both parties involved. But if it doesn't, and I go, well, that'd be a real asshole thing to do, then I don't do it. So when you expect me to do something that you wouldn't want done to you, then you just know that's not the right way to do it, i.e. this middle management service bullshit. So anyway. And people wonder why the industry's going to hell. And it is. It's just like there's no argument about it, from people, partnering up in the beginning and just give me a price and do it, Tim. Okay, there you go. Sign off on the estimate. I'll get the parts. I'll do it. Done. Give me a PO if you have to and pay me in 30 days and we're fucking good. I'll give you a 30-day warranty on repair. Okay. That's it. But keep my competitors out of your store. Okay. Exclusivity. Okay. Not anymore. It's even to the point where when I was still in business at the tail end, I had a customer that told me, you will buy parts from this vendor. Okay, this is where you flip it. I'm eating in your restaurant and you're buying your chicken wings from your purveyor. And I go, you know what? No, you're going to buy your chicken wings from Acme Roadrunner Company. Is that absurd? Yeah. It's crazy. And not only are you going to do that, I know what you're paying, so be careful when you mark them up, because if you do, we're going to have a problem. No, it's not. That's not. I don't know what that is, but I know what it's not. And it's not the right way to do it. But everybody's crawling into each other's books and numbers and markups and this and that. And since people think that competition and capitalism in this case prevails, you're wrong. I mean, it does, but also you need partnerships. And it's not existent for the most part. And people are taking shortcuts and thinking they're saving money, and it's actually costing them money because it just is. So, again, the whole software thing, QuickBooks Enterprise worked great. I would still use it to this day. I have looked at all of this stuff and used it, and I'm like, I just don't get it. Because you're turning a technician into an office clerical person in doing procurement of parts and everything else. And it's like, that's not a technician's job. I'm sorry. It's just not. That's an office job. But when you do that, you transfer overhead by people in the office that you can't bill for their time into billable hours. So the technician's doing it on site, and you're charging anywhere from, I don't know, we'll just pick numbers, 120 to 200 an hour, and billing it to the customer. And the one thing I always heard, no matter what I did, it's like, how come it's so expensive? And that was before all this bullshit with inflation and everything. And what I'm saying here, it's like, yeah, no, you only get billed for no more than an hour travel time and the time it takes to diagnose it, a truck charge, and the time I'm there. And then if parts are there, then if you say it and I got it in the truck, I'll fix it and we're done. If not, I'll send you an estimate. And that was the end of it. Not anymore. And if I needed an estimate done, I'd fill out an estimate sheet, send it to the office, and the office would do it. So the billable time to the customer is done, and anything past that the office is doing is overhead. And I'm going to say this. I did the numbers. Labor charges cover the cost of the guy and the technician in the field. The parts markup covers the overhead cost. Is pretty damn close. Not perfect. There is no perfect. So you can't do that anymore because, number one, you just don't have people sitting in the office, and if they do, I don't really know what they're doing because they don't know what they're doing. And then you're billing for procurement and clerical work that a technician's doing to the customer at $150 an hour. And then people wonder why, well, Jesus Christ, I'm sorry, holy shit, whatever. From the customer, gee, what is this why is this so much? 5 hours? I thought, the average service call, doing it the way that I'm saying, is three hours with travel time. That's an average service ticket. Service call, not changing a compressor, not installing a unit. Not diagnostic service call should never be more than 2 to 3 hours. Now they're 5. They're double. So then you got customers looking at, holy shit, our costs in R&M, which I always heard is sky high. It's got to be a percentage of sales and this and that, blah, 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 because then if it's not, hits the bottom line of the restaurant manager and then they don't get the bonus, and it's like, well, that's unobtainable now because you just doubled your costs, pretty much. I don't get it. So I'm not going to pick apart anybody's software. I'm just going to say this. I haven't found one that works. I was trying to work with a couple guys that came up with their own, and I don't know. I must have upset them because they were going to send me their software so I could evaluate it. I will say this, though. There's not one software service program out there that goes with the flow for the service technician, workflow. You got to enter this, you got to check in, and then you got to do that, and you hop around with redundancy, and sometimes, not to mention each customer, when you do a PM or even a service call, has their own separate checklist. It's ridiculous that you should come up with a checklist and tell the customer, this is the checklist we use for all customers, and it's more than efficient. This is the way we do business, and hopefully that's good because this drives the service technician insane when there's a different checklist for every customer on the planet. Why did that happen? Oh. My Meese disconnected. But no, it just did, probably because of inactivity. So anyway, do I think service software can work? Yes. Three important requirements. One, it has to be good for the office, or now it's not really the office anymore for the service company. It's the back office because you got people in there. I don't even know what they're doing, but you got people in there so they get and understand and can apply it to their job, which I just still don't know what it is, so they can do their job, okay? Communication, effective communication. Integration, okay? But it has to be useful so they can do their job in the office or back office, okay? Number two, it's got to be seamless, flawless, full integration, ease of use, and the most efficient matter of time for the technician. Number three, I can't do three. Number three, it has to be usable for the customer, okay? And if that means wearing a body cam, which is coming, well, that's ridiculous. Really? Taking pictures of everything used to be ridiculous. Not anymore. Body cams are coming, trust me. The trend continues. I don't care. I got nothing to hide. But I'm not a movie producer. So you want me to wear a body cam, then it automatically should just be synced up to my phone and then put into the software automatically. I don't have to do a damn thing as a tech, and then it's shoved in a video. I don't care. But I didn't go to school to do shit like this right here. or to be a digital video creator, whatever the hell you call them now, like this, to be an HVAC refrigeration technician. If you want that and you agree to it to the customer, that's fine. But then it can't be, well, this chain, this customer wants body cams. This customer wants video. This customer wants, I don't, everything in writing. No. Because you can't. And you're going to drive your technician nuts. And then you wonder why some of the stuff you get from in the field from technicians on the software is like, what the fuck is this? Or you didn't check in. Well, I can't tell you how many times that I've tried to check in with whomever in a third-party software or facilities management company or whatever, and I can't get through. Well, we're not going to get paid because you didn't check in. Well, that's not my fucking problem. I did my job. I can't check in. Seamless integration for the tech. Have you arrived on site? Yes. That's it. Done. Oh, you need this authorization number, blah, 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 blah. I do. So more and more tasks are putting on the technician. For what? I'm there. Look at my GPS for Christ's sake. Really? Do the geofencing. I don't really know what I'm talking about. But do that and then have it take a snapshot of where you're at and have it automatically put into the magic software. I didn't have to do a damn thing. Except, have you arrived on site? Yes. Done. Okay. Not call this, call that. Here's your PIN number. Here's this. Here's that. Here's your social security number. What's the birth dates of your kids? This is everything else. Oh, that number's not good. Invalid number. What are you talking about? I got it right here. It's not invalid. It's what I have. And then you can't check in. So you spend time fucking around at least 20 to 30 minutes just to check in before you can get out of your truck. This is true. So can it be done? Yeah. And I've talked to software people, and they don't like what I have to say. Sorry. I mean, you got into our industry and just wedged this in there, and you apparently don't know what the hell you're doing. When all this shit started, it wasn't for the benefit of the service provider. It was for the customer, and they even said that. Well, we didn't take into consideration that, for the service provider. Really? Huh. That's a big mistake. You just can't take something that's linear in their stages and the way the sequence of operation is for business and just decide to go, well, we're going to cram ourselves between the service provider and the customer, and then they're going to have to do what we say based on what the customer wants. Okay, again, flip it. So when I want a cell phone, can I just tell them what the contract says? No. When I buy a house, can I just go, well, listen, you know what? The other bank down the street's got a cheaper mortgage rate. I'm just going to use them. No. Well, yeah, but I'm the customer. And everybody wonders why everything's in disarray. No. Well, we'll just call somebody else because, or if you don't respond in 2 hours, then we're going to find somebody else. Responding to a service call, even if it is an emergency in 2 hours, number one, is very rare. Number two, if you have an emergency, then there's something wrong. Preventative maintenance isn't getting done right, or it wasn't repaired correctly for all the reasons that I'm talking about because there's too much pressure on the technician. Got to get here, got to get here, got to get here. All right, we got to get there, blah, 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 blah. It's a race. and it doesn't work. This shit's been going on for 10 years, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. And like I said, I've talked to people about it, and they don't want to hear it. I was giving my time on the phone talking to one of these big major service software people, and they canceled the phone call, the meeting, or whatever you want to call it. It was on the phone because they don't want to hear it. Fine with me. Fine with me. And if service providers want to pay, I've heard all kinds of numbers. One recently, $250 a month for each technician to be on the service software, and you multiply that times how many techs you have. That's not good business. That not when there's other options, but people don't think there's other options. And then, well, our competitor's using this, so we got to do it. And then you're so balls deep into this decision and signing a contract that you can't get out of it. So you're pissing money down a hole. Let's say you got 100 technicians at $250 a month. Really? A month. Or if you're a small company, you got two guys, $250 a month, $500 to have two guys on the street, and that's not even doing anything. No. And then not to mention, I know a lot of the stuff integrates with your financial software, i.e. QuickBooks. And if you're running a business and you're not pulling a P&L and seeing where the hell you're at, I mean, obviously people aren't, because it'd be like, Jesus Christ, what in the fuck is all this expenditures for computer software? Because I think that would fall into that. Or subscriptions, or whatever tax line your accountant says to put it under. Price subscriptions. How come these subscriptions are $1 bazillion? Right off the top. Right off the top. Whether they call you or not. Yeah, it's not a good way to run business, in my opinion. Your job is to keep costs down and increase efficiency. So I was just told this yesterday, because I had an interview and I got hired, and the software issue came up, and I go, look, I'm all for the latest technology and integration and all that kind of crap, as long as it increases efficiency and it doesn't put everything on the technician. When I started, I used QuickBooks Enterprise, like I said, and I used all that, and that was unheard of. And my PM guys had Palm Pilots or Pocket PCs to track all their PMs and have the filter and belt list and the customer information and all that crap. And they didn't even need to worry about that, because I gave them the filters because I stocked them at the shop. And I ordered the belts from Grainger and had them shipped in and gave them to them when they came into the shop. Go do this PM. It's time for belt change, pressure washing, this, that. All the intervals, whether it was 30 days or for filters, 30 days once a month, or a full PM, cleaning condensers and this, and then the pressure washing was in there, things of that nature. Heat startups, AC startups, ice machine cleanings, all the things. It was on their Palm Pilot, and of course, or Pocket PC, because they were better. And they got rid of it. It's like what Microsoft does. Anything that works, they get rid of. And just my experience and opinion. And that's the way it is. And it worked. So I was ahead of the curve in using the latest technology at the time in the late 90s through 2000s to take care of my customer. And it worked great, because it was the most efficient way to take care of the customer and run the business, whether sometimes customer agreed with it or not. I mean, they're like, well, I need an estimate, Tim. Okay. So I get them an estimate, and they take a week to approve it. And then they approve it, and they go, oh, you'll be out here today, right? I go, no, I'm not going to be out there today. I got to order the parts. Well, it's ridiculous. Well, you know, what do you want me to do? Because if you want me to chase for those parts and waste time with the technician to go to the supply house, which will probably be 3 different ones, you're paying for that. And that's the biggest waste of time is chasing for parts. And it's very common now today. Order the parts, get them shipped to the shop, unless it's really big stuff, of course, and then pick it up like an ice machine or a rooftop. I had rooftops delivered to the job in the back of a flatbed semi-truck, so that's the way I did it, with a junker there and a crane. It worked all but one time, and the one time it didn't is when the customer ordered the unit, and the unit never showed up, and they got billed for a crane charge and 3 guys standing around with their thumb in their ass because they wanted to save money. So that wasn't on me. I didn't order the unit. You did. But the one thing that I heard yesterday, so I shared my opinion and experience. Software can work, but it has a long way to go. Again, I said the same thing. It's got to be good for the back office or office, the service technician, and the customer. But it's not. It's not. It just isn't. And until that's reached with feedback, brainstorming, actually listening to everybody, people in the office, people in the trucks, the vendor, even the vendors for that matter. I mean, 4 vendors, suppliers, and customers. And you all got to get in a room, God forbid, a room, not the Zoom bullshit or meetings or any of that crap, in a room with a moderator like me. I don't give a fuck. I'll do it. I'll do it for free for Christ's sake. That's how passionate I am about fixing this thing. In the beginning, they're like, okay, what do we need? What do we need? What do you need, office people? Oh, I need this and that and everything. Okay, what do you need, technician? Blah, blah, blah. Well, I need a secretary for one, and a PC in my fucking truck, and a desktop station. And okay, well, all right, legitimate. And a secretary. Okay. Customer needs this, vendor needs that, and so on and so forth. And you integrate all that to where it's seamless and it works. But no, it's fragmented right now. This is in here for the office. This is in here for the technician because we say so. Whoever's writing the software that doesn't know their ass from a hole in the ground, obviously. And then they don't want to listen. And then if you say something they don't want to hear, then they go, oh, piss on you, Tim. Fuck you. Okay. Fine. It's on you. So. But I was told, I might turn this camera up here, take like a 1-minute break. It's already been 48 minutes. I got to get another cup of coffee, and I got to pee, actually. I was told, I'm going to save this. I'll be right back. We'll just do that. How's that? Yeah, we'll just do that. Give me 60 seconds. About. All right. Oh, that's not bad, actually. I don't like all that glare in the back. But then if I make it dark, it's going to look like a ransom video. I don't want to do that. Let's try that. No. See what I mean? All this video bullshit. So, I don't know. Okay. That's good enough. So when I was taking my break here, a lot of things went through my head, and I'll get back to what I was told. A little suspense. I'll tell what I was told yesterday. So to go back a little bit, Quentin Tarantino crap. To go back a little bit, I was working at a place, and they wanted to know my inventory system. Okay. And I'm like, okay, so I got on to Gemini Pro. I'm not a big AI person, but whatever. But again, like I said, I'm not like, no, can't do that. It's going to destroy us. It's like, which it probably is. But it's like, I use it like an encyclopedia thing or to bounce ideas off of it, okay? So I said, okay, can you come up with the best inventory system for an HVAC company with high volume truck stock parts and min-max numbers and blah, 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 and all this crap. And restocking, whole 9 yards. And it did. And I read it, and it was in the response in the query or whatever, and I'm reading it, and I go, okay. And I go, how about this? And then I threw my system in there. And it's like, oh, I'm not kidding you. It's like, well, yeah, and that would increase efficiency, and it was to do this, and this would do that, and blah, 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 blah. Mind you, this is AI. Okay? Whatever the fuck that means. AI. And like, oh, yeah, this, that, and everything else, and I elaborate a little bit more and put some other things in there. Oh, yeah, yeah, and it was always about increasing efficiency. When I asked AI, what's the most efficient truck stock inventory warehouse system with vendors and blah, blah, blah that I can have. And I said to it, I go, because you're thinking like a logistics person. You're thinking like a computer, because you are a computer. Yep. So there you go with that. What else was I going to say? I was going to say, oh, so this third-party management software or even whatever, I hear facilities people love it. Okay. And I don't doubt that. Because that's a tough job. Like, I got 100 stores I got to take care of. And I've dealt with people with that. It's like, holy shit, I don't even know how you did it. So here comes this magic third-party software now. I can just pull up a location and this and that and every bill and invoice and all this crap. Yeah, okay. And? Well, I know where my money's going. Oh, okay. So, an analogy. I'm horrible personally with my finances, okay? And I don't know where money's going. I just look at my checking account. It's there. It's freaking everywhere. I'm going to buy Quicken, which is a great program, by the way. And I'm going to look at because it's going to solve my financial problems. No, it's going to tell me where I'm getting fucked or where I'm being stupid with my money. It doesn't change anything. It just tells me where it goes. What the hell does that do? Unless I change my spending habits, there's no software in the program that's going to make me become financially responsible. So think about it. Garbage in, garbage out. My dad and I didn't get along. God bless him. Rest in peace, Dad. But he told me this. Well, when it's computers, it's garbage in, garbage out. And he was right. Software in, software out. Garbage in, garbage out. Fucking software does apps, this, that. If it's garbage in, it's garbage out. He's right. And that stuck with me. It still does, obviously. He taught me a few things, not a lot. So this is what I was told. So I went for an interview. Went great. 2.5-hour interview. Okay, now I've done interviews. I've been on the other side of the table, hiring people, this and that, whatever. When I tell somebody they're hired, okay? So 2.5 hours, and I was asked about software. And I said, well, here's my thing. And what I'm hearing from technicians, and I've heard this, one of which was said, I feel like I'm being micromanaged. I can see that. Not by management, by the software. Did you check this? Did you check that? You should have done this. You should have blah, 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 blah. I'm a professionally trained, skilled technician. Fuck yeah, I did. Duh. And if you don't answer it, you can't close the ticket out. So I shared what I've been told and conversations I've had with everybody. Business owners, service technicians, people that write the software, fucking whatever. Every perspective. Not because I'm not looking for, see, I told you so because I told you so and I was right. It's like, I don't have a dog in a fight and I don't have an ego. Believe it or not. It might not sound like it, but I'm doing a video. So, just like Tom Cruise ain't Maverick, I'm not Tom Cruise and I'm not Maverick and I'm not this asshole that you're seeing on the screen. I mean, you are. I'm not AI. It's me. And then you kind of act like a liaison, and go, yeah, okay, I hear you. And nothing's done. For probably egotistical, dare I say, sales profitability, insecurity of not being competitive, all the above. So I shared, not to this degree, because believe it or not, I was very careful to choose my words and say what I was going to say, because this is always the thing. It's always the thing. Always the thing. The joke, if you go to the doctor and go, hey, doc, if I put my arm up like this, it hurts. And the doc goes, well, don't do that. Well, you don't have to be an asshole. Well, what do you want me to tell you? I'll give you some painkillers or put your arm, we do an MRI, CAT scan, whatever, X-ray, get put in a sling. Well, don't do that. But we can't do things on the simplest terms because when we actually say that, we're assholes. I can't manage my guys and this and that, and they're taking too long, blah, 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 and yada, yada, yada. And blah. Okay, well, what are you doing? Well, all this shit started when I used fucking software, if I really think about it and be honest. Well, don't do that. Really? Is it that simple? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. This business has been the same way forever. I don't know what's forever. At least 50 years. I mean, I've been doing it 43, and I know it was the same before then, except it was, Tim, come out here. My walk-in's down. Okay, you got a bad contactor. Okay, can you change it? What's it going to cost? I don't fucking know. A couple $100 maybe. Okay, change it, get it done, get out of here. I mean, but that's Chicago for you. That's different language. Chicagoese. And on to the next one, and on to the next one, and on to the next one. I mean, could you imagine going to the grocery store and tell them, listen, this is what I need, person working at the grocery store, and I need all this stuff, and I need you to put all this stuff on here and give me an estimate before I walk out the door. And then if you're a little high, I'm going to go to your competitor down the street. So it's bullshit. What? You're just going to have the confidence to a degree till you think you're getting screwed and go, listen, I like going to Acme Roadrunner grocery store. Yeah, some things are higher, some things are lower, but in the end, they always have fresh shit on the shelf, and they're fair and reasonable, and they're friendly, and they got great customer service, and I like how their store's laid out, and I'm going there. That doesn't exist anymore. So I had the interview. It went great, 2.5 hours. No sign of this or that or anything. I did say something that, I don't know. I mean, I said some things that were real and honest and truthful, but based on my perspective and what I've heard from other people. But like I said, I am open to improvement. Anything in this industry, from the time the phone rings, which doesn't even help, email comes, fuck, I don't know, to the time you send the invoice out and everything in between. If it makes it more efficient and beneficial for the office, the technician, the customer, and the vendor, I'm in. I'm in. Okay? But I did say this. I go, all right, so if we want to improve something like the wheel, we can make it bigger, smaller, whatever, better material, bearings, whatever the fuck it's used for. But we're not going to put corners on the wheel in the guise of improving it. And I feel that's what's happening. Putting corners on a wheel. How's that going to work? And then you say something, well, I don't think it's going to work. Oh, well, fuck you, Tim, you're an asshole. Okay, not the first time. And this isn't about me. As people they make it personal. Like, oh, what the hell you're talking about? Or you're old, or you're, whatever. Old school. Old school? You mean fixing shit on the first time and taking care of the customers? Old school? Oh, that wheel, that's old technology. Okay. Yeah, it works. Ask the fucking Egyptians. If King Ramsey goes, oh, we let my people go, that's Moses. But, I decree as King Ramses that we put corners on the wheels when we are building the pyramids. What? Okay. And if you say something, you're probably killed. You disobeyed the king. I thought we were in a democracy here, public, or First Amendment, or nope, shut up. Okay. So that's what I said, and nobody said anything to me about that, and actually they agreed. And they said, well, our renewal's coming up in May, and we're not sure what we're going to do. Okay, well, great. That's a great perspective to step back and go, okay, do we want to pay $250 a month for each technician to use this software when we're losing customers left and right, can't retain employees, but we got this fucking great software that's not so great. So 2.5 hour interview. I think the longest I've ever had an interview and I was going to hire the guy was an hour. I mean, if you can't figure it out in an hour, then your interview skills suck. Okay. Probably even less because right away. But I had to take the placement test and this and that and all this crap. What's the resistance of the circuit if we have this much ohms ohms would be resistant. But, what's the amperage of this thing with blah, blah, blah? I don't fucking know. Right? Really? How about if I look at the tag of the piece of equipment? That tells me what the amp draw should be. How about that? I'll take that answer. So, everything went great. Took them 3 days, do everything, they had to do, and they text me, and they said, yeah, you're hired. Oh, great. Fucking cool, Awesome. Okay, well, do you want to do a Teams meeting or whatever and get everything finalized, or would you like to go to the shop, which is an hour drive? And I go, you know what? I'm a face-to-face real person here, not this virtual crap. No, I want to go into the shop. Okay. So yesterday morning, I was supposed to be there by 10 a.m. I get a phone call. And this is the onboarding recruiter. I don't know exactly what the hell. Because people do things different now. It wasn't HR, which it should have been. It wasn't somebody from the company. It was somebody representing the company. Put it that way. Great guy. Nothing personal. Didn't take it personally. And he goes, well, I don't know how I'm going to say this, but they're not going to hire you. I'm like, what? It's kind of weird because they did. And I go, why? Oh, because of your comments on the service software. And I said, really? Anything specific? Oh, no, they didn't tell me. But they talked to a consultant, and they said what you said. And the consultant said not to hire you. I'm like, well, you better get a new consultant because, wait a minute. My experience, my knowledge, all this stuff, I was asked a question. I answered it truthfully and honestly by facts and opinion and what I've heard, because nobody will say anything. And you're not going to hire me because I'm essentially, and I didn't say this, you're not drinking the Kool-Aid for the software crap. Pretty much, yeah. I go, that's interesting, because everything we talked about, those guys pretty much were an acknowledgement with and recognized that those were issues. But no, talk to a consultant. If the consultant doesn't have any HVAC experience or anything like that, and running a business, any consultant whatsoever, starting a business, running a business, being a technician, doing this for at least 20 years, if not more, have no business giving you advice. I don't care if they take care of Fortune 500 management and the KPI, the key performance indicator. What? Okay. How come that's the magic formula now? KPIs? Key performance indicator. Which is okay, but tell me how you're getting to accomplish those KPIs. No, just do it. Okay. And if you don't, then you're fired. Okay. But I don't have the power to do that because the way we do things in the corporate culture are this way. And I don't have the authority or leisure or power to make those decisions. I do what you tell me to do. Yep. Okay. This industry is just so upside down, it's nuts. So this guy says this, and he goes, "Yeah, well, a consultant says not to hire you." And I'm like, "Really? So you're going to base this decision on a consultant because I answered everything truthfully and honestly and said my opinions and what I'm hearing about it, but I did say it can be done, but there's a lot of work that needs, a lot of collaboration that needs to be done because the technician's doing everything." And that's true. The technician's doing everything. I didn't do that much shit running my own company. I swear to God. But I did things differently. And I delegated, and a lot of it was autonomous, and it was automatic, which is the same thing. And it was just, this is the way we do things, guys. And, it's like if you have a plane with autopilot and you put it in autopilot, then you grab the wheel and you try to fly the fucking plane, it's not going to let you because you don't know how to fly the plane better than the computer. No offense to pilots. Or ask Tommy Lee Jones from Space Cowboys. Point taken. Because that, according to Robert Kiyosaki and Rich Dad Poor Dad, when you get your company and business on autopilot, you've obtained euphoria or whatever. You obtained the goal that most people can never obtain, and there's ways to do that. But you can't do it now because people won't let you. So you say. You can't have people, regardless of who they are, tell you how to run your company. Because if you do, and well, this is the software you got to use, and blah, 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 well, then you're fitting into a model that everybody else is doing. Therefore, the competitive edge is gone. You're not competitive. You're just, you're in the Borg. Just got assimilated into the Borg. So the guy says, yeah, the consultant says this. And I said, really? So you're going to make your decision or somebody's making their decision based on my honest, truthful perspective on, in facts, on software. Yep. And I go, well, that's ridiculous because, again, it's like if you ask me a question about accounting software, and we use Peachtree, which I don't even know, or Sage, and nothing against anybody. We use Sage, and I go, well, if you want my honest opinion and experience, I think QuickBooks Enterprise is better hands down for this industry. And I say that, and then you send me an email 3 days later or text message 2 days later saying I'm hired, and 2 days later you call me and go, Tim, we talked to a consultant and shared with them what you said about accounting software, and the consultant said, don't hire that guy. So you're going, forget my experience, my knowledge, everything else, training, education, whatever. Nope. You said things that the consultant didn't like about accounting software. And you're basing your decision on that of employment to be a service technician. Yep. I go, well, if they ask what my response was, can you please share that I am extremely disappointed and I feel that decision is unjust. Now, before that happened, because we were talking about software, he goes, before, this is what he said, swear to God, I swear to fucking God, okay, and the life of me, my kids, everything in existence, God strike me down if I'm lying. And I'd put my hand on a Bible if I had one right now. He goes, before all this software stuff, because the guy's been in the industry since 1988 and seen it, seen everything. And He goes, back in the day, our profit margins were like 45%. Oh, yeah, that's about right. 45, 50%, 40, high 40s, whatever he said. He goes, you know what they are now, Tim? They're in the 30s, 30-something percentile. Now, if you're a business owner and you're watching this and you put up with this shit to this point, what is your profit margin on your stuff? Or just in general, what's your end of the year profit? But you can go to itemization and you can go labor and this and that and whatever in your parts and the whole 9 yards and see what your profit margin truly is by each invoice, by line item, depending on your software, financial software, you can do that. And it used to be, for the most part, 40-something percent. It's in the 30s now, if you're lucky. But wait, I thought this is the answer, the Holy Grail to everything. And you know why? Right off the bat, you know why it's lower? Because efficiency has been reduced. Well, that's bullshit, Tim, because, that's if it takes more time, we build them, I go, yeah, that's true. However, what you're thinking like fucking AI, and you're thinking like a bean counter, because there's this whole plethora of things, okay? The more efficient you make your technician, the more money you're going to make, okay? And this goes into the overtime thing. It's like, well, we can't pay a guy overtime because, number one, a lot of times we can't charge it, which is, I don't know how you fucking do that. In some cases, there is exception to the rule that you can't charge customer the overtime, but you pay the tech overtime, especially if you pay your guys overtime after 8 hours, not 40. But it's like, well, we can't pay overtime because they're making too much money, so we got to hire another technician. Hire another technician. Then pay a guy time and a half. You don't know simple math. Truck, insurance, all this bullshit, and paying for that person. Well, yeah, we're saving money because we're not paying a guy time and a half. You're getting a technician at time and a half for the half time. Okay? So let's say they make $50 an hour, which they fucking should, but it's a whole different subject. $50 an hour. Okay? Half of 50 is 25. 75 an hour. However, you look at the halftime. So you have a technician on the street on overtime for $25 an hour and no additional costs of insurance, a truck, this, that, whatever. Parts in the truck, everything to get that guy on the street. $25 an hour. Because you don't want to pay overtime. Okay? Efficiency. Do the numbers. If a guy doesn't go past 50 hours in a week and you're paying him $10 overtime, that's 10 hours you're billing at time and a half to the customer for $25 an hour. So what's happening is efficiency is being decreased and reduced because instead of taking 3 hours, I think that's more than reasonable. Let's just say 2.5 to get 8 in. 2.5, 5, 7.5. So whatever. 2.5 hours thereabouts each service call. Diagnostic. Get Tim out there. Figure out what it is. And depending on how your dispatch system is, a whole different subject, which should be the most efficient, no more than 45 minutes from each call, period. I don't care what the fuck's going on. Just the way it is. 45 minutes travel. And the rest is labor and diagnostic and paperwork. And from the time you get dispatched to the time you leave. 2.5 hours. And in some cases, it'll be complete. Oh, yeah, it was just a burnt wire. Or it was just a plug condenser, which I don't know why that would be. Or bad contact or whatever. It's just something real simple. Blown fuse. Done. That technician can run 3 calls on straight time in 8 hours. Okay? Well, yeah, but if he takes 5 hours and, he's doing all this other stuff, clerical and procurement, we're still making money. Yeah, but you're not billing for parts. So when you get a technician to run 3, and even sometimes when the planets are aligned correctly and everything's great, a technician can run 5 calls in a day, and it's not unheard of. But there's no way in hell that everything that the technician has to do today with this magic software and all this other crap can run 5 calls in a day, because it takes 5 hours to run 1 call. Then you got to hire more people. Well, shit, five hours each call. He's lucky if he can do 2. Right. Hire another guy. Okay. So, and so on and so on and so forth. It's all about efficiency. And taking a 2.5-hour call and turning it into 5 hours is not efficient. Actually, you just destroyed your efficiency rate by 100%. If you want to do numbers. Hence, if you did it, what I'm suggesting to a degree, you just increased it by 100%, which is, it's just numbers. But if you change it from 5 to 2.5, it's 100%, right? So there lies in the secret for your POL in doing things, because your money maker generator people are your technicians. The more efficient they are, the more money you make. And what you bill, you better collect. If your callback rate, I was asked when I got interviewed, what do you think your callback percentage is? And I go, well, I don't know, probably 3.14%, 3%. I go, but I think it's lower. I think it's probably 1 in every 100 calls. I'll have a callback. I've worked at places where it's 50%. And it's not necessarily the technician's fault. It's wrong parts ordered. It's this. It's miscommunication. It's a plethora of things. 50%. But the magic software is the new religion, the new cult. Don't worry. We'll take care of all your problems. And that's true, but not the way it is now. It can be. If a technician is on his phone or iPad or whatever the fuck he's on to do his job for more than 15 minutes, it's too long. Time for help, support from the office. Turn it over to the office. And yeah, you have overhead. But, wow, yeah, but we can't bill for that. Okay, then do it your way and have your efficiency cut in half and your profitability cut to whatever. I mean, if you pull a P&L at the end of the year, in my experience and what I was told, if you're not, when you close your books and you don't have a 10% profit, you're doing something wrong. And that was low. If you can get a 20% ROI, that's even better. But you can't do it the way that you're being told to do it. And hence here comes private equity firms coming in here and like, you mean to tell me I could pay a guy, really $35, $40 an hour and bill $200? Really? Let's just use numbers and percentages or ratios. Pay him $50 an hour, which you're not going to get making there. I was told that. Oh, you'll never make 50 working here, Tim. It's like, okay. But you're billing 200? So that's 4 to 1. 4 to 1. You're getting a return just on your labor 4 to 1. Let's say it's $150 an hour. You're paying 50, which you won't. 3 to 1. When I had my business in the Chicago area, I paid my guys damn near $50 an hour, 40 something, and I billed 99 an hour. That's 2 to 1. And I made more money than I ever fucking thought I could. I made well over 6 figures, taxed on it because I was an S corp. But yeah, and then my wife at the time damn near cleared 100 grand. So we were great because what I billed, I collected, and very rarely did. Once in a blue moon, once a year, there's always one guy at a concept. Oh, I had another company come out and they said this was wrong and they fixed it, so I ain't paying your bill. Or I'd run a call on a company that tried fixing it and I fix it and they go, well, I'm just going to send your bill to them because they fucked up. I go, no, you're not. That's your problem. That's your problem. You called them. You use them. It's on you. Don't transfer my bill. That's like saying, well, I'm going out to dinner and I won the Super Bowl bet and you can get my money from my buddy to pay for dinner. It's like, that's not how it works. Or you called somebody else and they said, oh, it was this, not that. And because it still didn't work right. And I called somebody else. I go, oh, that's on you. You should have called me and I would have came back and fixed it or whatever. Because nobody's perfect. Equipment does weird things that sometimes you can't catch like lightning in a bottle. And I don't care what technician is out there. There's no way in hell you never had any callbacks. And you still will have callbacks. Because it's working fine. What do you want me to do? Stand here and watch it for 12, 14, 2 days, a week? Until the gremlins come out? And Tommy Lee said this from Manitowoc, which I about died. It's like, and he used me as an example because we go way back. And he's like, well, let's say Tim comes and, the ice machine's broke. And the gremlins see Tim coming, so they hide. And Tim looks at the machine, and there's nothing wrong with it. And then, I can't find nothing wrong. It's making ice in 15 minutes. I don't give a shit. Everything's great, Then I leave, and the gremlins come out and go, oh, Tim's gone, so let's come out. Let's fuck up this machine. Swear to God. And I'm like, I can't believe he's saying this because it's exactly what I think. And the gremlins will come out. As weird as that sounds, but somebody else said it. And I respect and Tommy Lee in the highest regards of everything he stands for and has done. And there you go. Not to drag him into this thing. He has nothing to do with this. I'm just using an example. Highly regard. Amazing person. Yeah, so you're not going to catch the gremlins every time. And they're going to win until you finally catch them. You go, gotcha. So anyway, that's enough. That's an hour and a half. What I'm saying is for the benefit of everybody, and I know they're not going to take it that way. Because I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid, and I never have and I never will. And that's a double-edged sword. Because my success, and to a degree, depending on who you talk to, my reputation has either been augmented or diminished, depending on perspective. I can't do nothing about that. But I can assure you that my narrative is, because this industry has been so good to me and it's also been hell to me in some degree for the past 10, 15 years. And I say things that people think but won't say it, and I understand that. But I think at this age and where I'm at and where I've come from and what I see, that I'm obligated to say this. And I am not trying to divide or drive a wedge or whatever because of the comment that I just heard yesterday. It's like, I'll do whatever you guys tell me to do. You know, you want me to fill out 15 fucking forms? I didn't say this, but you want me to fill out this and that and everything else, and it's part of the job and is whatever. It's like, that's fine. I'm not going to tell you I'm not going to do it, but I sure as hell ain't going to go around bitching about it. I mean, I've sat in rooms with VPs of some big companies, okay? I can put a 3-piece suit on, walk in, get a haircut, shave, and be with the best and be the most professional person. And you'd be like, who in the fuck is that? Yeah. But deep down in my heart, in my blood, that's coursing through my veins, just like a motorcycle rider. I'll always have it in my blood to the day I die. I have this in my blood. To make things better, to point out things that don't work. And not only say that, have resolutions to fix it. So if you want to use your magic software and everybody thinks that this is great, you better step back, do some numbers, seeing what it's really doing for you. And the bottom line indicator is literally the bottom line. What is your profit margin? What was your profit margin before you started doing this? Or what could it be when somebody else was doing it a different way? Because isn't that really what it's all about? I mean, it's not, but it is. I mean, if you're not making a profit or your maximum profit, then you're not doing your job. You have people that rely on you for your for their livelihood. And the decisions you make is going to affect them. And it's going to affect you because employee morale is not good. You might think it's good, or you might, or people are going to leave you because you won't give them $1 an hour raise and they're going to go somewhere else for $1 an hour, which I don't recommend. The secret is retention, employee empowerment, and have the courage to say, okay, I understand this, but this isn't how we do things. If everybody raised their family the same way, how are you going to make improvements? You're all going to be the same. You're going to be in the Borg again. You want everybody to be in the Borg? Assimilate or die? Well, it both's going to happen eventually. You started a company because you knew you could do it better, or you wanted to be a better boss than the asshole boss that you had. And you want to take care of your people, and you want to take care of your customers on the same level. Not customers first, employees second. No, it's a same thing. And a lot of people argue with that. My management teacher argued with me about that. If you don't have great customers and great employees, you're done. You're only as good as your worst service technician as a company. So what is going to happen with this? I have no idea. I don't really care. I can't imagine the comments. All I'm going to say is just have an open mind, okay? Because what I'm saying are facts being shared with me. Now, did I go into their software and go, let me see your profit margins because you're telling me that? No. And they're not going to let me do that anyway. And they shouldn't. But I'm telling you what I'm hearing. And not from people that just like to bitch. It's a legitimate concern. I do believe anybody that's listening to this and is so pro software, service software, and I can't live without it, and it's great, and Tim, you're full of shit. And the people that write this stuff, listen to what I'm saying. Yes, this can work. But it's not working for everybody involved. Until there's full integration and there is all of these things that need to be done, again, by the office, the service tech, the customer, and the vendor, in the least amount of effective, efficient time, it's not going to work. You can't do linear timeline. You can't. I probably should go like this. Maybe not. Maybe like that. Like this. Whatever. You can't start here and then go here and go here and go here, and then you're almost at the end and go, oh, whoops, I got to go back to the beginning again and do this. And then, because a lot of this software, you reload it because it's all web-based and it doesn't retain it. So then you refresh it and all the shit's gone and you got to do it all over again. And then you get to the end again and go, okay, but you didn't fill this field in. So then you got to go back again and you got to go. And to get from the linear timeline from 0 or 1 to 10, you got to keep going back and back and back and back. That's efficient. So it's just, it's things that can be fixed. And I know that some software, service software has gone to apps. I think that's probably a good idea. I mean, why not? You know, because it's software, which is much more reliable and is on the gizmo, whatever you're using, than using your browser as an OS and refresh, or you lose your signal. Or, I mean, there's so many instances that I can tell you that in some cases I've done invoices 3 fucking times or filled out the requirements 3 times, and all 3 times disappeared. Oh, you got to start over. What? It can be done only with assholes like me and other people from each industry go, look, without bitching, just like, look, this is the challenge. What's the resolution? What are some suggestions? And put it all together and do that. And that's a start. And then don't down the road go, oh, we got to make this better for changes, and go to the drawing board and start all over. Kaizen philosophy, constant improvement of the same thing. And it can be done. And I would love to see it, and I'd love to be a part of it. But that, I know that ain't going to happen because nobody's going to reach out to me. That's fine. If I'm looking at you and we're in the middle of the street, which would be stupid, and I see a truck coming, and I go, hey, you better get out of the way because there's a truck coming, and you can't see it because I see it because your back's to it. Go, you better get out of the way. You're going to get hit by a truck. Oh, that's funny, Tim. Ha ha. And I would go, okay, and I would grab the person and frickin' get them out of the street. But people aren't going to let me do that in the analogy of this. You're not going to let me help you. I'm going to go, you know what? This is what's going to happen if things don't change. Oh, ha, ha, you're an asshole, Tim. That's not, you know, whatever. Okay. Because of behavior and trends and what I've seen in 43 years, and specifically the past 10. But I'm not getting nothing out of this. This fucking thing ain't even monetized. I don't think. I don't really care. It's up to you. Am I saying bitch and don't do it and go on strike and pull an Atlas Shrugged and all this crap being a technician? No. Do what you're told. It's your job. Okay? Because that's what it is now. But I don't think there's anything wrong with, like, hey, you know, permission to speak freely, which I've said 10 times in this interview. And they go, well, yeah, well, I hope so. Yeah. Okay. When I say that from a Star Trek thing or military thing, which I was not in the military, thank you for your service, I expect that to be kind of like off the record, you know. But it wasn't, apparently. But you should be able to do that and have an open door policy and go, hey, can I talk to the big guy? Sure. What's up? Well, I just need to express some concerns out of concern. Sure. And if it's a truly open door policy and they listen to it and then they take action, which I would go, really? This is a problem. Yeah. Okay. We're going to have a meeting Monday and I want everybody in the meeting room and we're going to talk about it. Why is it so hard? Your answers lie in your people, not you or your degree or anything else. No disrespect. I'm telling you. I found more answers by having Monday morning meetings and talking to guys than anything in my educational and experience. Because they have a perspective that you don't. Employee empowerment. What do you think, Tim? What's your suggestion? And you can't be an asshole. You're like, hey, well, listen, blah, 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 blah. Hey, that's a good idea. We came up with an on-call employee rotation because the stuff that's out there now is torture for your service tech. It's 100 degrees out. It's summer, August, whatever. You got to work. I'm not going to tell you what we came up with, but I'm going to tell you the problems, and it's been this way forever. You're going to work and put 60 hours in a week, then you're on call the next week, and then you're still going to be busting your ass the following week because it's hot. It's torture. You can't treat a person like that. Well, yeah, what are we going to do? And there's nothing you can do about it. Yes, there is. And when I came up with it with bouncing it off my guys. Because they were bitching about the fucking hours, and getting work like a dog. I'm like, okay. And there's a way to do it. Fair, equitable, and takes so much pressure off the tech. But that only came from open communication, open meetings, suggestions, employee empowerment, and actually implementing it into policy. So that's it. And that's what I'm about. Get everybody together. Let's get in a room. Let's talk. Let's figure this shit out. Because I don't think going back to the abacus because it worked and, well, it's been that way forever and we can't change it is the answer. However, I don't think going down a road that is obviously not working and not address it and do something about it is the wrong decision. That's the definition of insanity. Repeating the same thing and expecting different results. And it's been 10 years of insanity. Minimum. That's all I'm saying. I don't care what you do. But your techs are stressed. Anxiety's through the roof. And it's more than just a technician now. And that decreases their efficiency. It's much more efficient to have people in the office doing the procurement and all the other stuff that the office should be doing when it goes beyond arriving, diagnosing, make an estimate sheet with parts that you need, send it to the shop, let them figure it out. If you want to put part numbers on it as a tech, that's great. There's a secret to that, but I'm not sharing it. And get it to the office, and then that's it. You hand the football to them, and you can't be a one-man band or a one-man football team. You can't. Oh, that cat's getting in those fucking treats again. Raja, get out. Unbelievable. All right, got to go. So that's it. Whatever you do, play this 15, 20 times, share it. I don't care. Or don't. And make it personal and say insulting things, or keep it professional and say insulting things. I don't care. My objective is to make you think. That's it. Whether you agree, disagree, Tim, you're full of shit. Tim, you're right on the money. I'm finally glad somebody said something. It just happened to me 2 days ago. It's not going away. And you don't make your hiring decision based on somebody's opinion and perspective in what you heard on some fucking software and determine whether you employ them or not from a consultant. Get a new consultant. And don't base your hiring on the answer to a question that you asked with permission to speak freely. Very poor management. Very poor. And that's it. But I wish everybody luck. I really hope you understand what I'm trying to say and it was conveyed. This needs to be addressed. Software developers, business owners, CEOs. I don't care what size company you are. Business is business and numbers are numbers. It needs to be addressed and fixed. by everybody involved, or it's not going to change. And your ROI is going to keep going down. Your efficiency is going to go down. Your profit margin is going to go down. And then you're going to run people out of this business. Well, we can't give you a raise because our profitability's dropped. Oh, so that's the employee's fault? Time to go back to basics. Time to look at everything objectively and what's for the better. Because without your techs, you don't have nothing. And there you go. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I hope it makes sense. I hope it's working. I don't even know. It says it is. And I'm going to end. But comments, suggestions, whatever, I'm open to them. If it makes you feel better to, hate me, do it. But I go past that and go, okay, what can we do? That's it. Because doing nothing's a decision, but it's the wrong one. And that's it. So I wish everybody the highest success that you can obtain. I truly mean that. Pursue your dreams. I hope you reach what you're trying to obtain. And I have all the respect in the world for you, from a technician to a business owner. It's anybody. Just pursue your dreams. Don't let anybody stop you. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Please share